Time now for the voice of the land on the Big Play Network with your hosts, Kevin Arnold and Always Positive Jay.
Boy, oh boy, isn't baseball fun? I mean, even when your team isn't doing so well, baseball is actually fun at this time of the year, and you should actually talk about it at this time of the year. No, you don't need to talk about an NBA draft where, come on, be honest with yourself. You can't name one player in the NBA draft tonight. Take a minute.
I can name one.
Who? Bronny James. Except Bronny James. That one is the exception to the rule. Don't name Bronny James.
Edie.
Oh, Zach Edey.
Zach Edey. So I can name two. Boom.
I forget about that guy, and I don't know how because he's so big, and he was at Purdue for a long time. There's a reason why he was at Purdue for a very long time because,
I mean,
I
give him this.
He's
I watched
a solid
him.
basketball player.
He developed a lot.
Well,
he's got some more developing probably he's got to do like everybody else.
And that's as deep as we're going on the NBA draft.
And we're done with our NBA draft talk.
And look, the Browns, they had like a low-level player that got in trouble, but like right now, there's nothing to talk about. We can, if you want to.
I don't even want to draft anyone today, Kevin. I hope they make a trade, to be honest with you. That's what I'm hoping for.
I mean, unless you find a shooter. You need
I want
more
the right
shooting.
move made, that's all.
Yes. So we will talk about the new Cavs coach and then where it goes with Donovan Mitchell and all of that kind of stuff. We will talk Cavs later on, but this is a show that talks baseball in this town, and we are going to continue to talk baseball no matter. We're not bandwagon at all.
No.
We're just baseball and Cleveland Guardian fans.
Well, I mean, you said it many times. You were massively influenced by your grandfather, who's an old school baseball guy.
Yep.
I get it from my dad, he's an old school baseball guy. Played 20 years of ball myself, 20 plus, including Little League. Like, we love baseball on this show, and we're going to talk about it. We're not going to jawbone you about the Browns year round when there's no news and they're in the off season. No, we're going to talk baseball because this is also a baseball town. I grew up in the 90s. I knew what it was like. It was electric back then, and it's back now. This team reminds me of the 90s team, Kevin. It's completely different, but the same at the same time. If you know what I'm saying, Peter?
Yeah. Well, here's my question. You guys, have you guys been able to watch the games?
No, I listen to them regularly now.
Did you listen
now
to?
I can listen to on TuneIn.
Did you listen to the game last night?
Yeah.
So I was listening to it. I was in the car, so I was listening to it on the radio. We're able to watch it on the Bally's app on our TV, and so we've been watching the games. But basically, right before 7:30, and I wish I could have recorded this, because Tom Hamilton was talking about the 1999 Indians and how, like, in 95 they went to the World Series, 97 they went to the World Series, but the 99 team and how powerful that offense was.
That
was the last time that the Indians / Guardians had 50 wins this early in the season, and that was the year they scored 1,000 runs that year. 1,000 runs.
I gotta look that line.
Their OPS for the team, I think, was like 842 or 841 for the team. And this current team, I think he said, was like 7 something. So as well as this team is doing offensively, it wasn't as good as that 99 team. And that 99 team, like, I remember, I'm sure I went to a bunch of those games in 99. And
yeah, that team was sick. You literally Einar Diaz, Jim Thome, Robbie Alomar, Omar Vizquel, Travis Fryman, David Justice, Kenny Lofton, Manny Ramirez, Harold Baines was on the team. And here's your backups: Richie Sexton, remember Enrique Wilson? That dude stumbling back home in the playoffs against the Yankees, came and ended up scoring at home. Sandy Alomar was still on the team. Man, that's insane.
It was just a loaded team. It was crazy. It was just a crazy team. And I guess they lost in the divisional series to I want to say Boston.
Might have been Boston
because Dave Burba got hurt. got
Yeah, 'cause
injured in that series.
Bartolo,
2007?
Nagy,
No.
Burba,
Oh,
and
yeah,
Nine-
yeah.
Dwight
99,
Gooden
man.
was
Yeah,
a pitcher
99,
on our
yep.
team.
Yeah, so it was, but Hamilton, in between calling the plays during the game last night, kind of went through that, and I'm like, someone needs to take that and cut that up and put that together, because that is just an awesome
Don't give my
recap.
job any ideas.
Well, it's just an awesome
There's
recap
one person that does that there.
of well, they should talk to
No,
they
there's-
should talk to Futuri. We
No,
have
there's-
we have a program that helps you do that.
There's plenty of people that do that there, but still.
It's just been such a magical season.
It
Like this
has.
team
It has.
is for real. Like I always look. I made a whole thing I put on Twitter, like who I said were like the true contenders. Like people are like hopeful that could make a run if they get hot during the playoffs, and then the pretenders. And I always go by record and run differential. Run differential tells you how bad you're beating teams, and if you like, it really tells you a lot, like who the elite are, and they're all. It's usually real close to the top of the thing. Dude, we're in the top of like everything almost, man. It's unreal how good this team is, and there's the difference between this team and like the 90s. The 90s had some insane personalities on that team, and that took a lot of coaching from Hargrove to hold that all together. This team is not like that. They are like a band of brothers out there, man.
Well, yeah, there are different personalities, but they're not like the reality TV before reality TV was a thing. Like that
like
was
Josh Naylor's a personality and a half.
yes, but
But they love him.
Yes, but it doesn't always come out. It only comes out at certain moments. It's not like they're not always on, is how I would say it. Like they just love each other. And look, I mean, today, I know that they're 2-2 against the Orioles. John Kenzie Noel. Yes, John Kenzie Noel. You haven't heard of him. He's been one of the top prospects in this organization for a little while. Makes his debut tonight because they're trying to give Josh Naylor a couple days off. I know Tom Hamilton on the broadcast, as I was driving into the studio today, said that Josh was it was not such a pleasant conversation between him and manager Stephen Vogt, but like in a joking kind of way. Like Naylor understands he's dealing with some bumps and bruises. Bigger picture. Well, you bring in John Kenzie Noel from AAA Columbus, hits a bomb in his first at bat.
Man,
Third
that dude,
pitch.
he's a big dude, man.
Yes.
6'3", 250, and he has like, it almost looks like a Mike Piazza type swing.
Yeah. And
I was like trying to figure that's why I kept looking at the replay. I'm like, who does this guy remind me of? And it's Mike Piazza's swing. How he just that quick chop swing, and it's he hits it, it's gone.
Now, I mean, he'll have hopefully what is a long career to, we'll figure out who he's like.
Let's not put him in the Hall of Fame yet at all.
Yeah.
But that was awesome for your first at bat to
but
get
I think he's
hit a
hitting
bomb.
500 because I think he got out in a second at bat. But, these guys come up and then you see them automatically already doing the Mario jump coming around second, like that celebration that everybody is doing on this
I
team.
love that, by the way.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's great.
It's absolutely
Everyone loves
amazing.
it.
Absolutely amazing. And, when guys tend to hit their first home run, like usually you see like in the dugout, guys just sit there and they're very, very, very quiet. Like they don't celebrate. They wait until they get all of their helmets off and stuff like that. Then they jump on them. Noel was getting high fives and everything right away because a lot of these guys know each other. Tyler Freeman, Daniel Schneeman, John Kenzie Noel. The list goes on and on. They've been in this organization. They've played together. This is the group of young players that we have heard about. We didn't know what they were going to be. And they just, like, it just seems seamless when guys come up. Like, look, I don't have to be a world beater when I come up here. I'm just here to be a part and try to make an impact. That's all I'm here to do because the culture is established at the big league level and it is all the way through the organization. As much as maybe those managers and coaching staffs change, they bring in people that are going to continue that kind of culture. And it is absolutely fun. You got 51 wins, over 50 wins before the end of June. And look, the road to the playoffs is still a very long road. I've heard conversations this morning that like the expectations, like people are already talking about their expectations. Like this team has to go they have to win the ALCS. They have to go there at least. Like, what are we like? Why are we doing this? I understand that they have changed the expectations for how well they are playing right now. And I'm not saying
I'm going to say it right here. Like, you know what they need to do? They need to win the division. That's all they need to do right now. That's all they need to focus. No, actually, I'm going to take that back. You know what they need to do? They need to beat the Orioles today.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all they got to do. And tomorrow they got to do what they got to do. If they got a game, they got a game. If they don't got a game, you got to work out. You just got to do day by day, day by day. Enjoy the ride. It is so fun if you just enjoy it day by day like they are. Don't worry about the next day. We have no control over the future, so there's no need to worry about it.
I talked to Andre about it. Andre Knott, who's the Guardians reporter for Bally Sports. He works with ESPN Cleveland as well. I mean, I do the Dre in the Dugout podcast with him on the Land on Demand. But like we were just talking today, and like that's what we said. Enjoy the ride. Like, how many times since 2013 do fans have to hear our job is to come to the ballpark and win today? But like yesterday, like you guys know, our job is to come to the ballpark and win today. But you have the series. No. I don't care what's in front of us. The only goal that we have, the only job we have to do today, the only thing in front of us is our game tonight, and we have to go win. That is our job.
If they win, you know what they do? They go and celebrate probably. And when that celebration is over and the next day happens, that game's over. Yeah. That celebration's over. They're done.
They go to bed and they wake up.
To do what? Win the next day.
Win that day. Like, and Stephen Vogt has not changed that. He has kept that going. Like, so that's where their focus is. All we have to do is enjoy it right now. As we get closer, expectations, nerves, stuff like that. Like, how far can this team go? That'll all come about.
You know what my expectations are? It's like, I don't know, this may be silly. I'm on this push for the Quan versus Jose Ramirez for MVP. Like, who's your MVP? I'm sorry, I'm not giving it to Judge this year. That's great. You hit a bunch of home runs. But the MVP, to me, is not the guy who hits the most home runs. It's the guy that impacts your team and really makes you great. And those two guys are, I think, such a massive impact for this team. It's unbelievable. Jose totally for sure.
Oh, yes. But there's
what
plenty.
What Quan is doing is unreal. Like, I mean, you've always talked about them wanting high averages and stuff like that. And the game has changed. You're not going to have a whole bunch of people with high average 350s, 325s. It's not going to happen no more.
Old school baseball people, stop complaining about averages you see in the lineup.
I'm one of them. I'm trying to get there.
Stop complaining about Bo Naylor if he's not doing so well, or Gabriel Arias. Look, they're hitting well right now, and Bo Naylor impacted the win last night. Like, different guys are impacting every single night. And I know that we always get up in arms when the national media, takes shots at us or anything like that. I know Harold Reynolds and then a couple other people on MLB Network said they still don't buy into the Guardians.
Dude, what's funny? I love it because I think those guys see that stuff and it fires them up, man.
Yeah,
I love when they say that stuff. Bring it on.
People that say
I want the smoke.
Like, the spotlight stays off. Like, this team is not here for, everybody to bow down to them, throw flowers at them. They're just here to do their job and play the game that they love and have a great time with their brothers. That's all they're here to do. And we're going to talk more Guardians on the other side of the break. We are going to be joined by Curtis Danburg, the Vice President of Communications and Community Impact with the Cleveland Guardians. We had a chance to talk to him at a card show earlier this year. We're going to kind of look back on that moment and then where this team has gone since then. We'll talk to him next right here on the Voice of Land on the Big Play and Be On Air Podcast Network.
Whether you're looking to hire new talent or start a new career, Vector Technical has you covered. Vector Technical is a 28-year-old staffing firm that has helped thousands of job seekers advance in their career with reputable partners throughout Northeastern Ohio. Vector Technical is more than just a temp agency. With an above-average hire-in rate of 1 in 4 candidates, Vector works hard to connect the right person with the right opportunity the first time. Vector Technical hires for skilled manufacturing and light industrial work and is sure to have a career that you've been looking for. To learn more, visit our website at www.vectortechnicalinc.com.
Welcome back to the Voice of the Land, talking baseball. Baseball is fun. Baseball matters here in the city of Cleveland. I'm Kevin Arnold. He's always positive. Jay Peter Telep, our producer extraordinaire, is here. Before we do get to our guests real quick, I do want to make sure we thank our friends over at Vector Technical. They'll get the right person in the right job the first time. And, of course, our friends over at Big Play, we are part of their network. We appreciate being a part of that network. And, You can always get the audio after the show on your favorite podcast platforms, plus our friends with Ohio Media School, the Be On Air podcast networks. And we'll continue the baseball conversation as someone we got a chance to talk a lot of baseball with at a card show, the Greenies Card Show in Independence earlier this year as the season was just kicking off. Curtis Danburg is joining us now, the Vice President of Communications and Community Impact. I know you don't like that full title, always said, Curtis, but we appreciate you taking some time and joining us here tonight and being a part of enjoying the ride that the Guardians are taking us on this season so far.
I appreciate you having me. And yes, it's fun to be talking about the Guards right now, considering the best record in all of Major League Baseball. When we first connected at that card show, I don't know if anybody predicted this start, but we'll take it.
Yeah. I mean, and when we connected at that card show, like I guess disconnected from there, the mood changed very quickly once we left that stage.
5 minutes after I walked off the stage, I looked at my phone and then word spread quickly that we were losing Shane Bieber for an extended period of time with the Tommy John surgery.
Yeah, I showed a picture, and it's me, you, and Kevin on stage, and we're all smiling and happy about life. And then I showed the picture of 5 minutes later at a smaller desk where me and Kevin, we looked miserable. It looked so bad. I'm like, what a difference 5 minutes can make, man. But
it's funny that day before, I was walking down the tunnel, and Shane walked by, and I didn't think anything of it, just because he had come by, in between starts, and but then obviously there was a reason he was back in Cleveland, and he had probably just gotten checked out. So I didn't even think to ask him how he was doing. I mean, he was, as we talked that day, he was 2-0 with incredible two starts, and I didn't think anything of it.
I mean, if anyone would have told you before the season started, hey, Shane Bieber's going to go out and you're going to have to roll with these young kids, and you're going to be the best record in all of baseball near the All-Star break, would you have believed him? No one would have believed
anybody in Cleveland that would have believed that. But we'll take it. We're believers now, and Stephen Vogt's done an incredible job, taking over the mantle from Tito and
Coach of the Year.
Believing in for whether you're the Jose Ramirez at the top or our 26th man. That he's played every role as a player, being an all-star, being that 26th man, and I think that's suited him very well for this leadership role.
Well, and Curtis Danburg of the Guardians is joining us here tonight on the Voice of the Land. Curtis, I mean, it says a lot. I think this season's been like kind of a microcosm, at least those early days when Bieber went out, a microcosm of what this organization is all about. I know you've been with the Guardians for a long time. What is it about this organization that, no matter what kind of happens, business as usual and success, championship or contention type windows are always there, and guys are being taken care of, developed, and it just feels like every single baseball year with a little bit more pizzazz this year?
I think it always comes down to culture, and that starts at the top of Paul Dolan, and obviously Chris Antonetti and Mike Chernoff on the baseball side, Brian Barron on the business side, and then goes all the way down. And I think we all believe in the organization. We believe in the people, and whether that's the scouts and player development, we're all striving for success. We're all striving to win the World Series. And then I know it's been a long time since we've done that, but we're all fighting for that opportunity. And I know it's cliche to say that, but we believe in that. And I think organizationally, that's what we strive to do. And we work together to try to make that happen.
What a blessing it is to have Jose Ramirez.
Oh,
I mean, Lord, my Lord, like I always compare him, how he holds his team together is like, he's like what Tim Duncan was to that Spurs dynasty. Even though Tim Duncan was the best player, he let his coach him hard, just like everybody else. And he worked as hard, if not harder than everybody else. So that means like, if you're my best players doing that, everyone follows suit. And that's what helped him. And him stick around and sign that long-term deal. I've been saying it and I'll continue saying it. When this man is done, I truly believe he will be the greatest Cleveland baseball position player. You got Bob Feller, there's some pitchers out there,
Yeah.
But position player, I think he's going to finish the greatest there ever was. He just passed the great Manny Ramirez in home runs, and he's probably half his size.
Yeah, easy. But I mean, if you think about it, you're right. And, we've had such great success going back to when Tito started in 2011. But really what changed the course of our trajectory of our organization recently was when he, opted to stay. And that was right before the 22 season. And we went off at 192 games and taken the Yankees to game 5. Obviously, we had a step back last year, but his leadership, I mean, when you have a table setter and somebody that sets the bar so high, day in, day out, he's the one. He went, I think, he had 4 hits that one game early in the season, and he rounded out, and he's like banging his head onto the bat. Like he just wants to win so bad. And I think everybody follows suit. So we're pretty lucky to have a person of his stature. He left probably $100 million on the table to stay in Cleveland. And we're blessed to have him.
We got a saying on the show. It's all gas, no brakes. That's pretty much Jose in a bottle right there. Like that man is just nonstop hustle. And
there's a reason why Zach Meisel of The Athletic has a helmet counter every single year for Jose Ramirez.
For many years.
And like you said, Curtis, I mean, your best player being the one to work the hardest, be the first one in, last one out. I mean, the greats of every sport, we've heard those stories all the time. I just heard a story from Daniel Boobie Gibson about LeBron and like how he was literally the first one in and last one out. And Boobie tried to like beat him to the facility and he couldn't do it at any point. He was basically getting there at the same time because that's how much the greats care. And that's what Jose Ramirez does. It doesn't matter if it's a grounder or anything like that. Like he's running it out. He's giving it everything he has. If he makes mistakes, he gets frustrated. But look, mistakes are going to happen. This is a difficult sport, and having Jose, like you said, is an absolute blessing. Our producer Peter has something for you as well.
Well, I just wanted to chime in because what you basically just said and what Jay mentioned, the hustle, and that I think is something that I've really noticed on the team this year is just everybody is hustling. I don't think I've ever seen so many guys give it their all to get to first base,
and that's why the city loves them. Like I've never seen them buy into a team where we don't have a whole ton of superstars like we did in the 90s. They just have these kids playing their butts off, hustling nonstop, and now they're hitting home runs with this new approach to the plate, aka maybe the wind vortex.
Have you heard of the vortex conspiracy theory out there, Curtis?
I have heard, I've seen it, and I will tell you that the one thing they failed to mention, there's 2 teams playing.
I know. I think it's the funniest thing though. Like I have no belief in it whatsoever. I seen how the people made it look. I'm like, wind doesn't hit things and bounce off. It's just really a lot. Maybe
around.
If anything, the wind has just not been blowing in as much this year. But yeah.
Not like the Metrodome where they used to, put the jet on when the Twins were batting.
And here's the other part of it. Like
different.
If the wind is blowing in, you just open it up. So it'd be harder, if anything, to hit home runs. But hey, what do I know? I'm not a scientist.
I mean, not only is there 2 teams when it's here at Progressive Field, but people also fail to forget that the Guardians are pretty good on the road. They hit home runs. Look, John Kenzie Noel in his first at bat hits a home run to almost dead center in Camden Yards. There's no wind vortex there, and they're still hitting home runs.
I guess yesterday there was a bunch of high scores during the all throughout baseball, and I tweeted at Andre Knott, and he was laughing. I'm like, I guess that wind vortex is spreading throughout the nation.
They take it on the road, I guess.
Yeah, it's all over now. It's hot, and the wind vortex is everywhere, blowing the ball everywhere. It's great.
Well, Curtis Danburg, Vice President of Communications Community Impact, is with us here tonight. I mean, and looking at the communication side, the promotion side of things with the Guardians, I'm sure this last homestand, the stands were absolutely full. Having Shaq there, what was that like? The Shaq DJ set, especially after
whoever idea that was,
and a
give that man a raise, man. And if it's you need a raise because that was awesome.
Our live experience team, and a great opportunity. Last year we had Walk the Moon, and we looked at some of the different acts that they had on their slate, the production company, and Shaq popped up, Diesel, and I didn't know what to expect. I was like, he's going to have an hour set just playing music. Like, how is that going to, keep people entertained and engaged for an hour? And it was awesome. And he did. He's an entertainer, and he came out from the get-go, even threw out there that if we get to the World Series, he's going to come back and do a show for free. And to see, we had like 7 or 8 guys up on stage interacting with Shaq, and it was a special. And it was after a victory, and everybody was in a good mood and had a lot of fun.
Well, here's my conspiracy theory. I'm just going to break. This is breaking news here.
Uh-oh.
Our first game, what was it? What happened at the very first game? We had the eclipse, correct?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
And what did it look like when that full eclipse looked like? Did it not look like a ring? I think them players might be getting a ring by the end of the year. They got a real good chance.
I like that one.
I like where you're going, Curtis. It looks like you like where he's going to. We keep things realistic here as well,
Yeah.
Curtis. I'll just say you fail to forget that other people there was other ballparks and other places.
Not
doesn't matter.
many,
Not
though.
not the total eclipse, though.
Yeah, we had the
Yeah.
total eclipse, which that's what made it look like the
Totality.
ring.
Yeah.
Right.
The other
but like-
people didn't see the ring like we did, Kevin.
Well,
It went
therefore-
through Texas. It
Yeah.
went through Texas, but they had a dome and they never saw it. Like
There
we
you
did.
go.
Yeah, and didn't they win it last year?
They won it last year.
Yeah.
So it was leaving Texas and going where?
Oh, there
Oh,
it
see?
is.
I'm
like
telling
it.
you guys are just proving me more right.
Cut
Let's
that
keep
right
talking.
now. Cut that. We'll send that over. We'll get that to you. We'll get it to
The
the.
first
The
I
wind
heard that, I like
vortex,
that.
vortex. It's all about that eclipse ring. I'm telling you. And if they win it, whoever designed that, you got to get it into them. Like, you need to work the eclipse into that World Series ring because it was magic, man. I'm telling you.
It was a special moment. Another one where I don't think we knew what to expect.
Yeah.
People were building it up, but when we were there and the temperature dropped and the
was-
crowd like roared, it was pretty special.
That had to be really cool with those. I watched it all by myself, which was just didn't matter to me. I was just in awe, like, wow, this is way cooler than I even thought it was, and I was excited for it. But to be around all those people, which this whole season, man, we've had a huge. It seems like a lot more people are going to the ballpark. So I think your guys' improvements have really helped out.
Yeah, what has the atmosphere been like, and kind of the response you've heard, Curtis, to some of the renovations that have been open to the fans at this point, with more still on the way?
It's been off the charts, and I think you connect the way the team's been playing with the City Connect and the launch of that, and it's been an incredible atmosphere. We've been having a lot of fun at the ballpark. We just had our 6th sellout this year, and we're breaking numbers, and we have a long way to go. And even pulling 25, mid-20s, upper 30s during the week last week, and people are buying in. The ballpark pass is crushing it, and we have a big homestand coming up July 3rd. We're already nearing a sellout for July 3rd. We've got fireworks. We've got probably the number one promotion last year we're bringing back is the Hawaiian shirt. The
I love
line's
those things.
pretty much all the way to the lake. So we're going to open up gates earlier this year, so people aren't waiting as long. So between the promotions and everything going on, Progressive Field's definitely been the place to be all summer.
I just got back from the Tommy Bahama shirt, and if I spent enough money there, I think I should just get one of those shirts too. Like, holy moly, is that store expensive? I'll just buy a ticket. It'll be cheaper and wait in line with everybody.
Yeah, I may have to get that shirt because I have last year's, and those things are just. I understand why so many people want to be a part of those. Curtis Danburg is our guest here on The Voice of the Land. Well, I mean, you talked about the Hawaiian shirt. What other promotions can people look for if they haven't been paying attention, keeping up? Because you guys are among the best doing promotions, and of course, even the social media team is, top of the crop for that as well. But in terms of promotions at the ballpark, things that families and people coming out can expect outside of great baseball on the diamond, what else can they expect the rest of the year?
Well, next Saturday, Tristan McKenzie bobblehead. Of course, we're inducting CC beginning of August into the Guardians Hall of Fame, and we're going to have a bobblehead for him. And of course, Rock and Blast is the back-to-back shows. If you've never experienced Rock and Blast, there's nothing like it to the ballpark for that. So again, go to CLEguardians.com, see all the promotions, and we have a lot of fun entertaining our fans. And you mentioned the renovations, phase 1, the Paul Davis Pennant District is off to a crushing start. Fans that are up there are groups. That's a group space. Instead of being on that circus tent outside, we're entertaining them inside the ballpark with a beautiful view. And then the terrace garden up in left field has been a huge success too. And it's allowed us to add more people with the ballpark pass in the ballpark because there's more standing room only space.
Yep.
Well, I seen on Twitter, I just kind of put 2 and 2 together. Your son is doing pretty good in the sport. Would you like to promote him by any chance? Hey, I'm sure you don't get to do it very much. So
Better than me at play-by-play by a mile. many
I
miles.
appreciate that. And he's had this dream for a long time. He started the network for Fairview High School when he was an 8th grader, and he's going to be a senior in Ohio State, and he's spend the summer at Lake County doing the captain's games, and they're having a lot of fun. It's an incredible opportunity, and they have a great team. They won the first half title and are off to a good start here in the second half. So he's having a lot of fun. We'll see where the play-by-play leads him in the future.
Yeah, I got a chance to be out at Classic Park the night that they clinched him. It was another comeback win, bottom of the 10th, walk-off win, and I've also tried to tune in as much as I can because I've worked with his partner Logan, doing like high school
Was that
football
when
and stuff.
you took your son to the game, right?
Yeah, I took my son to the game.
Which jersey was he wearing?
He was wearing a Guardians jersey.
Who got him that jersey?
Jay. All right, Jay.
Wow, look at that.
Why is everything got to be about you, Jay? This is how it goes.
I'm sucking
Curtis.
up to Curtis, man.
He's
I
trying.
appreciate the support.
I'm buying merch here, man. I'm
Yeah,
just showing him.
He already told you he bought the City Connect
I
merch
know.
that he's wearing tonight, so you got to do it too. If
Oh, I'm
Curtis
definitely
gotta
going
do it,
to.
You got to do it. But Curtis, last thing for you. I mean, I know that the organization loves to honor the past as well, like the history. And I was covering the game for ESPN Cleveland on Sunday, and where our seats are assigned in that press box, it's right next to the Bob Feller commemorative seat in the press box because, of course, when his playing days were done, he was up there and working with the organization and stuff. Just talk about that, like the pride that you guys take in honoring the history and trying to add to that and take us out of everybody talking about, well, this team hasn't won the World Series in this many years or whatever like that, like trying to evolve it to this new age of baseball.
Yeah, I mean, we're one of the charter members of the American League going back to 1901. The history we have is incredible in this city. And so we take a lot of pride in that. And whether it is Bob Feller or, Friday will be Larry Doby Day at the ballpark. We're going to have a T-shirt and celebration for Larry Doby and what he meant to the game and breaking the color barrier in the American League only a few months after Jackie.
Went through all the same stuff as Jackie too, unfortunately.
If not more.
Yeah, probably.
Because of the city, he went through more cities than Jackie had to. And again, that's not taking anything away from Jackie. But Larry should be at the same level. And he not only was number 2 during that, but he was number 2 behind Frank Robinson being the second African-American manager too. So he was number 2 twice. Which is crazy to think, but we're going to be honoring him, and that's what this is about. It's about paying homage to our history, and like I mentioned earlier, CC Sabathia is going to be the next player in the Guardians Hall of Fame, and we're very proud of that, and we'll be celebrating that on August 3rd.
I got the chance this last fall. I got to go to the Baseball Hall of Fame for the first time with my dad, and seeing Bob Feller's jersey there was one of the coolest things I've ever seen in my life. If you're hearing this, go to the Baseball Hall of Fame. Just the town itself is unbelievably cool.
Yeah,
there's merchandise everywhere, man, and the food, it's so good down there.
Americana.
It's
Americana at its finest. And
if
you go there this summer or next summer, you'll actually see Bob Feller's bat because of our renovations. We've put it on loan to Cooperstown, and that's the famous bat that Babe Ruth used in the famous photo. When he almost used it as a cane. It was Bob Feller's bat that he used, and Bob he willed it to us when he passed away. So those mementos in Cooperstown are pretty special.
Yeah, when you go to places like that, they don't call them Hallow Halls just for nothing.
Yeah.
There's true history and prestige when you walk into any pro Hall of Fame, pro sport Hall of Fame, and especially the Baseball Hall of Fame. Well, Curtis, we appreciate you taking time tonight. Curtis Danburg of the Guardians. Of course, we'll definitely reach out to you again to have you on again as we get deeper into the season.
Maybe around the playoff time, we'll have it back on.
I like it.
Yes.
We can talk about that, the solar eclipse.
Yes,
exactly.
We'll check
Evolution
in on
of the ring.
Let's
hope we get that opportunity.
You just let the players know about my theory over there.
We'll if he is right about this, Curtis, I'm never going to hear the
he won't.
end of it, but it'll be the absolute best. I'll tune him out because guess what? That'll mean one thing. And, we know what that one thing is, and that's what the goal is. But right now, their goal is to just win each day, and they're trying to win against the Orioles right now. Curtis Danburg of the Guardians, thank you so much. We appreciate our connection, our what we call friend of show now that you've been with us more than one time, and we appreciate your time here tonight.
I appreciate the opportunity. Go Guards.
Go Guards. That is Curtis Danburg, Vice President of Communications and Community Impact. On the other side, we'll react to some of the things that Curtis said, but also I think we do need to touch on there was a big news story this week. Like, we finally found out who's going to coach our basketball team. We'll talk about that next, right here on the Voice of Land on the Big Play and BN Air Podcast Network.
Are you struggling to hire the right talent or maybe even find the right career? Vector Technical makes it easy. Since 1992, Vector has provided Ohio employers with a reliable process for hiring and have helped thousands of job seekers advance in their careers. Vector Technical is more than just a temp agency. We invest time to get to know each client and candidate personally. Vector places people in job opportunities that they are truly excited about. Interested in learning more? Visit our website at www.vectortechnicalinc.com to see a full list of our current job opportunities and to find out what Vector Technical can offer you.
Get your gear at voiceoftheland.com/shop.
Welcome back to the Voice of Land here on the Big Play and Beyond Air Podcast Networks. Kevin Arnold, always positive. J. Peter Tubb. We just had an absolute blast talking with Curtis Danburg, the Guardians. We've talked to him several times. We have built a relationship with him, and one of the many great people in a great organization and a great culture. I mean, look, I know that they're down right now in this game. People are going to freak out if they lose a game. They already won the series. Look, you're going to sweep teams. The goal is to win series, stack wins, and that's what they've done to get to this 51-26 record. They've lost 26 games. They're probably going to lose a few more throughout the year. Like, that's kind of how baseball goes.
Wait, they're going to lose games?
Yeah. I mean, like, that's how baseball goes.
No way.
These are two really good teams. It's 3-2 Orioles. It was 3-2 in the first game. Guardians. It's 3-2 Orioles. Like, that's what you expect. It was 10-8 last night. Both teams, the offenses were outstanding. The Orioles have lost 5 straight, but they're still one of the best teams in Major League Baseball. And the Guardians are going toe-to-toe with them. If that doesn't convince you after 2 months plus of a baseball season that the Guardians are for real, then I don't know what to tell you. But those that do think that they're for real, let's enjoy the ride together.
Another solo home run.
That's all right.
Man, does that team got some power to them too, man.
Yeah.
Respect to the Baltimore Orioles for real. They're a contender.
They must have one of those wind vortexes too.
It's there. I told you, has spread throughout the nation. Everyone's hitting home runs right now. There's high scores all over. The wind vortex is completely out of control. I don't know what to do.
I don't know what to do. But look,
funny thing is, like, I don't feel any wind at my house because it's been hot and I could have used some of that wind vortex.
But look, the Orioles were down bad in a very difficult division for a very long time, and they acquired a lot of talent, and all that talent is now.
Well, they had to suffer for a long time.
Yeah, they had to suffer for a long time. Now, of course, I don't know if they would have suffered as long if they were a central team as they did playing in the AL East, but still, that is a really good team with a lot of talented players. The Guardians have been able to maintain a lot of young talent in their farm system that is now impacting this team
crazy thing,
this year,
Kevin.
while they've been in contention since 2013 with Terry Francona at the helm, now switching over to Stephen Vogt.
We're the number 1 team in major leagues. We got the number 1 bullpen, the best closer.
Technically, by percentage points, we're not the number 1 team right now.
Whatever. We're one of the number 1 teams in baseball.
Yes.
We got the best closer, the best bullpen. We have one of an MVP, 2 MVP caliber players, and we in the upcoming draft we have the number 1 pick. A lot of people are like, "Oh, who cares?" The number 1 pick in baseball can make an impact next year. Like, those dudes are ready to go. Usually,
yes, but you would need a guy like Paul Skeens, like a name like that, and there's not one of those guys in this draft. But there's definitely some hitters.
The hitters are there
in this draft, so it'd be interesting to see that. I mean, and they're doing all of what you just said, and we have so many questions about the starting pitching. You get the starting pitching corrected, in which I know that they're going to do everything they can to do because they know how to pinpoint, they know how to develop pitchers and pinpoint talented pitchers and make the right kind of moves to get them in here.
And the guy I've been excited about all year, and I didn't get, and then the season started and I didn't get to watch him play, is Galvin Williams. I cannot wait for my dude to get back. If he is the wild card of this season right now, if he comes back and he is what I think he can be, from my, like I told you, my number one scout's my dad. That dude knows more baseball than I'll ever know. He's forgotten more baseball than I'll ever know. And he's touted 3 prospects his whole life like the way he does him. It was CC Sabathia, Manny Ramirez, and Chipper Jones. And I've never heard him gloat about a player like that until he watched Galvin Williams. He's like, this kid's got the stuff. Give him a few years. He's a Cy Young candidate for year after.
If he can have any sort of impact, a number 2, number 3 level starting pitcher kind of impact on this team.
I'm not saying I need him to come in and have a Cy Young year this year, just like you're saying. I need him to be a 3-2 kind of pitcher.
Because he really didn't get a spring training. So that's why it's like, I feel like if he would have had a spring training and this injury happened, I feel like he would already be back with the team. But since he didn't get a spring training, you have to get that arm stretched out and make sure that he's ready and the injury is behind him when you're dealing with the arms or anything in that sort of area for pitchers. So hopefully he can have an impact. Then you add another pitcher to that, Tanner Bybee, Gavin Williams, pitcher, and then like you've had some guys step up at certain points. Tristan, if he can find some consistency, he may not look like the top starter, but we just got to find consistency. He has the stuff. He has the speed.
We need 4 or 5 good innings out of Tristan McKenzie each week, every start. Like, even if it's just 2 runs he gives up. Let that bullpen do its job.
Right, but we got to get starters to start going more consistently, 6 or 7 innings, so we can give that bullpen a break. Because right now, I heard Tom Hamilton say it tonight, they had 3 guys that could raise their hands that were actually ready and able to go for how much they've been used. So we got to start giving them a break because they get a little bit of rest. Starters are going deeper. Guess what? Now the bullpen comes back and dominates when it matters most at the end of the year when pitching impacts the most. Now, a team that's, went a little bit further, but decided to get rid of their coach, the Cavaliers, another really good team in town. Boy, oh boy, are we in I would say a great spot right now as a city with.
Wow. It's so weird. Like all 3 teams are winners.
Yes.
And all 3 teams are playoff contenders.
Kenny Atkinson has been reportedly, and I only say reportedly. I know we all trust the people that have reported this, but I have to say reportedly because that is part of the business. He has not officially signed. The Cavs have not made an official announcement.
I believe he was in France.
Yes.
So he can't sign anything in France. It'd be kind of hard.
According to Chris Fedor of Cleveland.com, he was supposed to be coming back here yesterday. Now, I don't know if he got into town yesterday or like the time difference and stuff, like how that flight went, stuff like that. So I'm assuming he would come in because the draft is tonight. You'd want your head coach to at least have a thought on it. I'm sure he's been studying the prospects when he's been in this process of trying to be a head coach. It looked like James Borrego. They go Kenny Atkinson. Everybody wants to point to Dan Gilbert as the person that brought Kenny Atkinson in, like made the decision for the organization. I don't feel like it was only Dan Gilbert. I just feel like he's going to have, now that he's feeling healthy, which is great. And we wish the best for him. Unfortunately, we lost Nick Gilbert, and we continue to send condolences and prayers out to him. I mean, those bow ties that they wear as pins and have bow tie nights, like there's a reason for that. Nick had such an impact on this community and the team and all the players that have come through here. But Dan is he's an owner. He's going to have a say. But I don't know that he was the one to everybody was on James Borrego and then Dan Gilbert comes in. Nope, you can't hire him. You have to hire. I get it. Everybody started to get on James Borrego because people said he wants this job. He wants it really bad.
On a 1 to 10 scale, how much did you think I actually cared how they got to their coach?
0.67.
Somewhere around there, maybe 0.66.
And and that's not 67%. Like
it's
that
0.6. So it's less than 1%.
1%. Yes, less than 1%.
Yeah, I don't care how they got to their coaching hire. I didn't even care who they hired, to be honest with you. You know what I care about? Results.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about these coaches. I'm not going to lie to our fans and listeners and sit there and tell you, oh, this guy's going to do this and this, and he's this kind of. No, I don't know. I didn't care. You know what I want? I believe I don't care what he did before or what he did, if it was good or it's bad, because it's all about fit. Like if this dude fits with our players in our group, and his system fits with them, we're going to do great. No matter that's just because we got great players.
Yeah.
It's just all about fit. I don't know his fit, and time's going to tell. I ain't worried about it right now. I just really don't care.
That's where the bigger stories are going to come.
Mhm.
What does the roster now look like? Now, what I can tell you about Kenny Atkinson from what I know, because I actually admired him from afar for kind of what we saw from JB initially, like the grit, the toughness, the 50-50 ball, get on the floor, get all the floor burns, buying into that kind of system. Kenny Atkinson was that for Brooklyn. Now, I think he got a raw deal because I don't want to say he can't coach star players, because look at the star
Who
players that were
knows
there.
what was going on when you had KD upset and Kyrie was going through it? He definitely got a raw deal there.
Yes, but they got rid of him under the same principles of why the Cavs got rid of JB Bickerstaff. Now, I'm sure that there's also a lot to do with the relationship between Donovan Mitchell and JB. That was probably part of, if not a majority of the reason, because they're trying to adhere to Donovan Mitchell. They're trying to woo Donovan Mitchell to sign the extension.
What's more important, keeping JB Bickerstaff or keeping Donovan Mitchell? If that was you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Is it more important which coach we get or keeping Donovan Mitchell? It's about keeping Donovan Mitchell.
It's about keeping Donovan Mitchell. Now, and you listen to all the NBA insiders, NBA teams are operating as if Donovan, just under the assumption Donovan Mitchell is coming back here until he's signed on the paper.
I ain't assuming nothing in this town.
You know what happens when you assume. I'm not going to say it, but you know what you do, what happens when you assume. So that's where the bigger stories come. Is Kobe Altman being honest when he says they want the core four? Did they go through these interviews?
I don't believe. I mean, sure, they want him. But if someone gives him a deal that he's like, I like that, he's going to make a deal. That's the way it works. It's a business. They're not going to reveal their cards, because here's how it's going to work. If there's a deal, I think there's a good chance Darius Garland's traded in the next few days, because if Donovan Mitchell signs here, then Clutch is going to want them to there's a good chance that Clutch is going to want Darius out of Cleveland.
I think is being pushed more by Clutch than it actually is Darius.
Yeah, that's why I said Clutch. I didn't say Darius. If you didn't catch that.
No, I did.
I know. We're back to what we were saying. They're gonna want him to leave, because that's where he's gonna get more numbers if he's not with Donovan Mitchell, and that's how they see it. The Cavs could just go, we don't care. You're under contract. He's gonna stay here. No one knows what's gonna happen. That's why we're better at reacting at stuff. I'd rather react to stuff and then try to predict stuff, because half of us, we're not right most of the time, dude.
The only thing excuse me, in terms of reacting, we're reacting to the coach. The only thing I can say is they better have gotten it right. This better not just be a lateral move like some people have described, because again, the principle of could JB, was he Mark Jackson, where he can only get a team so far? Is Kenny Atkinson that same, or has he learned enough?
And I disagreed with what Emmett Golden has said on the radio. He thinks it's a lateral move.
Say no names, please.
He's a friend of ours. I love Emmett, and it's fine. We disagree. Oh, whoop-de-doo. He probably knows more about basketball than I do.
He's getting ready for Vegas anyways. He
don't care. I love Emmett. But he thinks it's a lateral move. I'm like, it's not a lateral move, because he's a different style coach. You're going to learn something different. As in level of how good of a coach there, it might be a lateral move, and that's fine. As long as he teaches them better offense and they keep JB Bickerstaff's defense, then it's not. That's why I said it's not really a lateral move, because
that's a fear of mine, of losing defensive prowess and ability. If
that's on the players, if they want to play and continue that,
that's on Kenny Atkinson to bring in the right people around him to who's your defensive coordinator. I put defensive coordinator in quotes, because some of your assistant coaches are very specific to certain skills or sets, offense or defense. If you're a defensive guy,
defense is effort, man. That is 90% effort. That's
true.
That's all it is. It's those guys are physically gifted enough to all play defense. It's how hard they want to play it. That's if they just got to continue it. It's on them.
Right.
If they want to play defense, they'll play defense.
So really what we're waiting on is, the next thing to fall is Donovan Mitchell, whether we officially get an extension or not. How long is that extension if he does sign? Because he might he could take advantage in 3 years. There's going to be more money for free agents. I don't know what he's going to do. I'm not going to make a prediction on what he's going to do, but that's going to be the next thing. Then How do you improve this roster with limited assets? And do you keep the core four together? Those are the questions we're all looking for. That's what we need to find out this offseason from this Cavs team, because it is a talented and contention-worthy roster right now with the players that are there. They haven't been able to fit together as puzzle pieces. Can Kenny Atkinson do that? Or does he think, does he have a voice with Kobe Altman, and Kobe Altman's just giving us a facade like Andrew Berry did with Baker Mayfield, that, look, we have things we're talking about.
He might come in here and everyone hates him. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like, you know, the whole team's just
don't-
like, this dude sucks.
there's
Get him
too
out of
much-
here. Like, who knows what's going to happen, dude?
There's too much unknown, but it is
Exactly.
very important this offseason that Kobe Altman and Kenny Atkinson, reportedly the new head coach, and the players that are there, this team is ready to take a next big step. That is the expectation. I will put the
The
expectations on
Knicks
them right
took
now.
a big step.
The Knicks took a big
They
step.
took a huge step, man.
Yes, they did. The Cavs need to take a big step, because it's not just, I don't want to just go baby step, baby step, baby step. Yes, once you get there and lose, then you learn how to win.
I think they have enough playoff experience to get there and win it. Like
To the
myself.
conference finals. Like that, with the level of talent, that should be the expectation. How the season plays out, we can break all that down, and how disappointed we are versus, what the circumstances are. We'll talk about that when it actually happens and react like you just said, Jay. But look, this team has proven that they are good. The Guardians just, they've kind of, with the young guys, they've taken people by surprise. We're enjoying that ride. During the Cavs season, I'm still going to enjoy the ride. But I can put expectations on them earlier, because we've seen them go through the process of becoming a contending team. You need to take steps forward this year, and you better make the right decisions. Kenny Atkinson better be the right decision. Roster moves better be the right decision to move this team forward. That's why I want fun, energetic basketball that I don't have to have concerns and frustrations about. Want fun basketball like I got fun baseball right now. We'll be right back with one final segment. This is The Voice of the Land on the Big Play Network.
Are you looking for a career in manufacturing? Vector Technical has you covered. Vector Technical is a 28-year-old staffing firm that is partnered with some of the biggest and the best companies throughout Northeastern Ohio. The recruiters at Vector Technical will coach you through the entire job process and will help you land an opportunity that you are truly excited about. Vector does not add any additional fees and offers benefits as well as free online skills training through Penn Foster. To learn more, visit www.vectortechnicalinc.com and make sure to check out our job board to see a full list of our current opportunities and apply.
Welcome back one final time on this Wednesday evening, June 26th. Wow, we're almost...
Do we got some Voice of Land magic left for our buddy John Kinsey Noel?
I don't know.
He's
see.
up to bat. He's the tie and run right now.
Yeah, they're down 4-2, down to their last out right now are the Guardians.
The power of the eclipse.
I
have to admit to everybody. Should I tell them?
Yeah, we don't hide anything on the show.
I totally made that up right on the spot on this show. I was like, here, I got a theory.
I mean, that's a heck of a thing to make up on
hey,
the spot.
That
though.
is ADD at its finest right there, because you guys were talking and somehow this brain went there. I don't know how, Kevin, but it all made sense. It's like it was supposed to be.
Maybe you should come in more tired each time.
Yeah, I know. Seriously,
Yeah,
I love lack of sleep because my shoulders are all jacked up. That's great.
Well, the best stuff comes out of you when that happens. Now, usually we wrap up the show with like a fun segment and stuff like that. But we've
Or you asked me to pronounce the dude that got drafted first, and I'm just gonna give you a big hell no.
All right, let's
no clue. And I'm not going to disrespect that kid.
This doesn't have to go very long. Like I know what the pronunciation is just because I've heard people say it. But Peter, the number one pick by the Atlanta Hawks, who only had a 3% chance, but this whole like new lottery system, I kind of like it with giving like everybody in the lottery a chance. They were a play-in team, and they got a chance they're in the number one pick. Can you pronounce this player's name? He is from France.
Man, I would assume looking at it be like Zachary Reisacker, but
incorrect, but
I mean,
trust me. I'm not saying that I knew this like I knew it beforehand because I've heard people say it. I'm not taking credit that like I knew it and like I'm smarter
That's
than you
Big
guys
Z,
because I'm
bro.
not, because that was my
Big
pronunciation.
Z.
Yeah, I mean, just
Big
looking
Z.
at it, but yeah,
Jay,
Big Z.
Big Z.
Jay,
Big Z. I'm
Jay.
not even gonna try it, dude.
Jay.
I looked at it and my
Jay.
head started hurting, Kevin. I was like, oh, why
Jay,
is
we
this-
don't do bits very often. Come on,
It's not gonna happen,
play
Kevin.
along.
No, Kevin. How do you say it? How?
Zachary Ricochet.
Oh, you had Zachary.
Ricochet?
Yeah.
Ricochet?
I don't know.
Yeah, I would have said Richard or something like
I-
that. I'm like,
I
have
don't
no
see
idea.
like I have a French background. Like
I'm dyslexic, dude. Don't ask me to read things that I can't
Like,
pronounce.
I have French in my background and stuff, and even like, and I was pretty good in French class, but like even I looked at that and I was like, that's a French name? Like, no, no.
Well,
No idea.
would you draft Brownie if you were the Cavs?
No.
I would. I would totally do it. And just the hopes that you would
Look-
even bring LeBron back. And if not, who knows what he could develop, because it's a crapshoot at 20 anyways. And
Yeah.
if you don't, I wouldn't care either at the same time. But
Look,
if I'm them, I would do it. I'd be like, man,
Look,
I'm pressing the
here's-
issue on
Here's
this
the
dude.
thing:
LeBron-
if they think drafting him would get them another ring, if the front office, if that's what they actually believed, okay, I'll put it in their hands because
yeah.
you know,
Like if
I'm
they
saying
have
if
some
you
sort
got
of
him and you push, like, you're like, LeBron, you have a chance. You're a free agent and you could play with your son at home. You can tell me LeBron James and his son are on this team next year. His son could shoot a 3 and he plays good defense, believe it or not.
But
He's
LeBron-
actually a really good defender.
right, but LeBron also didn't care about his kid playing at St. V.
Yeah, but he gets to play with him. Never will get to play with him. He's got like the smallest window of opportunity. I'm just saying, if I'm the Cavs,
I
I'm
know.
like, hey,
Look,
LeBron, hey, we got a chance to win a championship with your son. When are you ever going to be able to do that?
look, as much as I want to like jump into that with you because you guys know
Kevin,
how-
it's not going to happen. I'm so over here.
you guys know how much I love LeBron James.
And there's a bunch of chaos if you bring up LeBron James and drafts his son. I like to get the stir the pot a little.
yes, but his podcast partner, LeBron's newest podcast partner, just became the head coach of the Los Angeles Lakers. Where do you think LeBron is playing next season?
Somewhere else because he's pissed he ditched him. Now he ain't got a podcast partner, Kevin.
LeBron's got plenty of money. It doesn't
I
matter.
have a podcast. He
Where is LeBron
left
James
him.
playing?
He left him.
Until I see
Cleveland.
different, and you if something
Hey, you want to have fun at the end? I'm just messing with you.
I
man.
know, but if something changes, you guys can get on me all you want. But I want to hear from both of you. Where LeBron's latest podcast partner just became the head coach of the Los Angeles Lakers. Where is LeBron James playing in 2024, 2025?
Cleveland.
I honestly don't care.
He don't even care.
I mean, I do because his shoes look sick when they with those LA colors.
Oh, Kevin. I don't even, you disgust me.
Hey,
They look better
Hey.
in wine and gold.
yeah, well, Lincoln, my son, and I have the same shoes, and they're based they have like LA colors in them. That it just I don't know why, but yellow and purple just pop. But they are not as great of an organization as they think that they are. They think way too much about their history and not enough about their present and their future. And the Los Angeles Lakers are more of a joke now than they are and they're laughing in the face, unfortunately, of all the late great and past great players that have worn a Lakers uniform. They have completely taken away the prestige and destroyed the rest of LeBron's career because they haven't gotten him the right players around him. He's getting older.
So Cleveland has the right players to put around him. Just saying, Kevin.
All right. Well,
I
on that note, we've gone 60 minutes and we're going to end it at 60 minutes tonight because of that final note there. We appreciate everyone tuning in tonight. We want to thank again Curtis Danburg for taking time out of his night to join us as well. We had a great conversation there. Baseball is fun. Enjoy the ride, people. For Always Positive J. Peter Tellep. I'm Kevin Arnold, reminding all of you sports fans, don't let anyone ever tell you it's just a game. We truly love you all 3,000.
Don't talk about it. Be about it.
And live life all gas, no brakes, like our late great friend Mike Allen always used to say. We will see you next week. We have a possible special guest. Won't get into that now, but stay tuned to our Twitter
Fingers
at
crossed.
BTL
Who can't see me.
_ pod. We will have all the updates for you when we can announce that. Have a great evening, everyone.